At the World Spirits, we already have some formats. Today we're launching a new format, Cooking with Spirit. On one hand, it's about the spirit, the essence that goes into making a good dish, and on the other hand, it's about spirits, meaning the liquors that are used to enhance the dishes. Today is actually a holiday. We're filming the first episode of Cooking with Spirit, or rather, with spirit, since we have several types of spirits available. Yes, and appropriately, do you start the first episode? Oysters? Oysters, that's also, we're filming about 1,000 meters up, a bit far from the sea. When it comes to oyster production, I just came from the Limski Fjord down in Croatia, where you can definitely buy fresh oysters. On the other side, in Brittany, in Normandy, everyone knows Atlantic oysters. Few people know, however, that in the Mediterranean, or just behind it, in the Étang de Thau, there's one of the largest French oyster productions. Oysters grow, or rather, they actually thrive in brackish water, and there always needs to be a flow of fresh water as well. But oysters come in different sizes, and you really should enjoy oysters super fresh. If someone doesn't want oysters, then they're out of luck, because they just missed out on having fresh oysters the first time. Oysters need to taste sweet, then they're perfect. The oysters I have today, I got some of them in Croatia and some in Italy in Duin, but the price is always an indicator of quality. These oysters cost half as much as these. It always has to do with quality. But the most important thing is that oysters are fresh and sweet. Whether it's size 1, 2, or 3, that's a matter of taste. But today it's all about me. Oysters are usually eaten with lemon, with a vinaigrette, meaning vinegar, or baked. I'm a hardcore clear purist. I want it pure, without lemons, without any frills. However, today I have a test. I've selected some spirits. On one side I have the citrus products. On the other side I have the floral products. So now the question is, what goes better with it? Trying is better than studying. You can only watch, I can taste. So, I've already started opening the oysters. You always have to keep an eye on things. First of all, you usually wear a glove. You don't hurt yourself. From metal, or rather, from metal parts, but the point is to first find the hole so you can get into the oyster. Then you poke in, and the muscle on top gets cut. Then you open the oyster. However, you should be careful not to damage too much of the shell when you cut the muscle, so that you don't get too much calcium residue in the shell itself, because that doesn't taste very good. So, then you let the liquid, the seawater, drain out. I still have one that I need to open. So I've poked in. As I said, go through from the top. That's pretty scratchy. That means there will unfortunately be a bit of grit inside, but that will come out. That works, we can use it. So now the question is, you should smell them first. Also, when I take the oyster now, the lemon has another purpose as well, to see if the oyster is still alive or not. The scent, seawater. When you take them, they all have a very typical scent, yet they're different. So I would say I'm starting with an orange spirit now. Let's see how an orange spirit is. So it's done. Remove the whole thing, and then we'll try the orange spirit with it. Not too much. Muscle. Let's take a look. Great. Completely a different experience. The beautiful citrus orange notes come first, then wonderful, the typical taste of the base, just how they should taste. Sweet, Fantastic. So, the next product from the company is also lemon. Then let's take them out. You don't need anything inside. And now I'm curious to see how the lemon tastes. It will taste just like you're used to. Also very nice. However, there are green notes in there, shell notes, that almost lean towards lime. But in combination with the oyster, so if we take the citrus now, in this case the orange would be my favorite. Next, endurance. So we'll do it like this, very carefully and very gently, with a pipette. Of course, you shouldn't put in too much, because otherwise you overpower the base. Indeed, only a little bit more. On the other hand, the seawater is always stronger. Now I'm curious. This is from Quince. A lime spirit will probably also have a bit of green notes, like the lemon from Folander. Let's take a look. Great. So, now we have a conclusion. Make or pull. Lime and orange are perfect from the citrus family. And now let's take a look at how the floral things are. Floral is just flowery. Earlier, I got some products from Stefan Tomé that he needs for his jeans school. You usually can't buy them, but you can definitely get similar things from him, you sent. I'm just getting oysters ready. So, what do we have there? Jasmine, then the calming and soothing aroma of elderflower, and finally, lavender. What do you personally think would fit best? I think elderflower. Let's start now with the jasmine. Jasmine will probably be a bit too delicate, too subtle. It's a fine matter, but you'd have to increase the dosage. That means jasmine gets a bit overshadowed. A bit more. Jasmine would probably be better. Then let's take the next product. Here the elderflower. That would be my favorite based on feeling. But from experience with the first product, let's take double the amount so that it doesn't get lost. So let's briefly take a look. When we examine this particular aspect, we can observe that it possesses a certain level of intricacy and fragility, which makes it quite delicate. This delicacy is evident in the way it is structured and the careful attention required to handle it properly. If you take a look at citrus floral things, you can say one thing. Basically, it's a counterpoint. If it's citrus fruits, then it's 2001, one side. If there are floral notes, it's more or less a beautiful, delicate harmony. So, then the last one, the last attempt, with the lavender. It always depends on how intense the spirit is, meaning the lavender spirit. Yeah, you can definitely smell it more intensely. So I think that from the floral products, lavender will be the best. That's right. Wonderful. An experience that surely no one has had before, which I'm having for the first time today. What do I recommend now? If someone wants floral things, lavender is excellent. And if someone wants the typical citrus tones, which also have a bit of lemon, but with a little more twist, get an orange spirit or a lime spirit. Please don't just get the oysters from anywhere. It's best to go to where the oysters are from. Take a Spiros with you and do a tasting yourself to see what pairs best. But one more thing, the star is always the food, never the chef. Take a Spiros with you and do a tasting yourself to see what pairs best. But one more thing, the star is always the food, or the chef. Have fun recreating this and enjoy it when it's time for Cooking with Spirit again. 2001 with Wolfram Ortner. Hello,